I mean, you said they were still gonna win the division.
I think so.
So I mean, you got more faith in the Cowboys than I do.
I just think they got the best quarterback in the division. That's all.
Dak Prescott, the best quarterback in the division. That's crazy.
I mean, the numbers showed it.
What's good, everybody?
We back again.
I know y'all didn't expect to see us so soon, but we're here. And we're here for a very special reason. But before we get into that, I go by the name of Rip 16, the GOAT.
I am Ty the Fly Jet.
And we are the Mighty No Hedging Podcast, man. We are back for a very special edition. I know some of y'all like, it's not football season. It's not Free agency said they don't care. Mm-hmm. All right.
Free agency frenzy.
It's a free agency, free-for-all frenzy, and they going crazy.
Yeah.
So because of that, we are back with a special episode here, and we have to talk about it. You know, we took a little break after the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. We definitely about to get into this NBA action, and that's going to be coming your way as well. However, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this chaotic free agency season that is underway. So first things first, might as well rip the Band-Aid off.
Rip it off.
Let's talk about those New York Football Giants, man. I know.
Can't stand them, man.
Can't stand
them. Every move that they're making, every transaction that they're making is idiotic.
Well, idiotic. Well, fresh out the presses, they just got Drew Lock. 1 year, $5 million guaranteed.
Drew Lock. Okay, you talking about Drew Lock, who only been in the league for like 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. And this is his third team.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Drew Lock. Okay. I'm good on that. That's not exciting.
It's not, but I mean, so now they got rid of Tyrod. Mm-hmm. Tyrod went to the Jets.
Yeah, Tyrod, he was injury prone. I understand it.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
He got 2 years, 18 mils though, even with the injuries. But they got Drew Lock. Now Daniel Jones got beat the fuck up last season. So you was telling me off cam that it's likely that Drew Lock is going to end up starting the season, or if they draft a quarterback, the rookie will end up starting the season because Daniel Jones might not be ready.
Well, I don't foresee them starting a rookie right out the gate.
Depends on the rookie, right?
I still don't foresee them starting a rookie right out the gate.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But all I'm going to say is this. All the moves that the Giants have pretty much made is telling the fan base, we're not trying to win right now. We're just not. We're not trying to compete. We're not trying to win right now. We're rebuilding.
Right. So, and an even bigger move before I get to my second part of that, even bigger move, of course, Saquon Barkley, your favorite New York Football Giant, is out of town and going to a division rival.
Yep.
Which
is well deserved. Congratulations, Saquon Barkley. You do not deserve to be wearing the big blue anymore. I know you're a diehard fan as well. Wanted to stay there for the whole entire career. Said it numerous times on numerous occasions, willing to work out a deal with the Giants, but the Giants weren't willing to work out a deal with him, right? So go to a team that will appreciate you, and you will be able to be seen in the playoffs.
Right.
It's at least every year.
Rare Saquon Barkley in the playoffs dealing with the Giants.
About the move, I already knew what it was. The writing was on the wall. They didn't extend him the franchise tag. They didn't offer him the franchise tag.
After all that back and forth about a franchise tag last season, now when it actually makes sense to give him the franchise tag, you don't.
With the difference in probably $2 million. Because the franchise tag last year was like $10 million.
Right.
And then it went up and increased this year to $12 million and some change.
They
were saying, no, we're not going to pay that. So I don't know if word is they didn't make him an offer.
Right.
That's the word. But, from the looks of it, it seems like if they were to make him an offer or something like that, they're probably looking to pay $8-9 million per year. What Derrick Henry got, what Jacobs got around there. That's kind of what they were looking at, I'm assuming. But nevertheless, offensive line been trash. He been banged up. I understand that. But at the same time, he's been the most valuable piece to our team outside of our defense, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
offensively, he's been the guy.
Yeah, he's been the centerpiece of the offense for sure.
Yeah, without Saquon, you're not winning any games. When you put Saquon and Daniel Jones together, they win games. You put Daniel Jones alone without Saquon, you losing games.
You don't win games.
So
You're
they
not winning
fucked up
games.
by giving Daniel Jones $40 million and not paying Saquon Barkley, and here we are.
So my question to you on that too, now that you bring that up, they picked up a couple guys on offense on the O line.
Yeah, they picked up a guy from Vegas and then a guy Runyon from the Packers.
And then they also picked up Brian Burns.
Brian Burns from the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Which it was okay.
It was okay.
But what is an okay move? And hear me out.
Defensive move.
It was an okay defensive move. Hear me out. The reason why I'm not 100% okay with it because I feel like we overpaid Brian Burns.
They did pay him a lot. He got the bag.
Yeah, he got a max deal.
He is
the second highest defensive end, highest paid defensive end in the league. Second highest. Now, he ranks, in my opinion, probably around 6, 7, or 8.
Okay.
You got guys, TJ Watt, Nicholas Bosa, you got Myles Garrett, you got Micah Parsons, you got Max Crosby. Those are guys that deserve that max deals. But we paid this guy a max deal as if he was one of those. He only had 8 sacks last season.
Okay.
These other guys that I'm mentioning, 14 sacks, 12 sacks in multiple seasons.
Right.
So the capital that they gave away to get him was fine. A 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. I'm not upset with that.
Okay.
But the contract,
the compensation,
the compensation, I have a problem with because he's getting paid like he's a top 2 defensive end when in actuality he's like a 7th-ranked defensive end.
I mean, he's still top 10 though. I mean, that's pretty impressive, and he was available. So yeah. I mean, part of it is availability. They say it's not. They say you're worth what you can negotiate.
You can max pay a guy that's never stepped foot in your building, but you can't pay a guy who's been in your building for 6 years, blood, sweat, and tears.
Said it.
And said multiple times, I want to be here.
Listen,
which means I'm willing to negotiate.
Listen, I said it last year when they gave Daniel Jones all that money. I said, why are y'all okay with giving Daniel Jones all that money, but you're not okay with paying Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley's production. He's the centerpiece of the offense. Clearly, without him, you're not winning games.
You're nothing.
So, with that being the case, I don't care about all of that. Oh, running backs, they take a lot of hits, all that injury, whatever. Daniel Jones' production, he's out there playing like he's an athletic quarterback, but he's not. I mean,
he's not the answer.
He's not the answer. You do not want him to be a dual threat quarterback. Maybe he'll be more effective if he had a good O-line to block and stay in the pocket. But my other question for you about the Giants before we move on from them, with this being the case now, and it looks like they're kind of going into a rebuild. I mean, but they do kind of stack up a little bit on defense. But with this being the case with Daniel Jones, do you think they're actually going to move on from Daniel Jones after they just pay him all that money? Or are they going to try to support him a little bit by giving him maybe another wide receiver out of the draft? There's been some rumblings about Malik Neighbors being available by the time the Giants get down there. I don't know. Are they going to try and support him through the draft and this free agency? Maybe, like we said, they did get some offensive linemen, and their offensive line was terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
So, does that mean that they're shaping up to try to bring Daniel Jones in with some better support?
Well, Joe Shane, the general manager, he on record publicly said that he's riding with Daniel Jones. And when Daniel Jones get healthy, he's going to start.
He's going to stick beside him.
He's going to stand beside him. So they're going to stick beside that decision. Now, I don't know if that's coming from upstairs above his head with the Maras or whatever, but they're going to stick beside him at least this upcoming season because they have to pay him that $40 million this year, this upcoming season. So after that, that's going to be a whole different story. We'll see what the conversation is after that. But I mean, yeah, they trying to shore up the offensive line. We've been trying to shore up the offensive line for 10 years. Okay? It still hasn't panned out. Okay? on top of that, the defense, we got a new defensive coordinator. You let go Xavier McKinney, which is a 24-year-old stud safety.
Yeah, they did.
A captain on the team. So you giving away players. You
went
gave
to the
away
Packers, right?
Yeah, went to the Packers.
Yeah.
Gave away Saquon, didn't get no compensation for him. Gave away Xavier McKinney, and get no compensation for him. If you guys knew that you were going to get off of these two players who are good players, then you might as well have done it throughout the year and got something back for them.
You could have got better compensation.
You could have got some draft picks. But
because they damn sure weren't doing anything.
You let them walk out the door. You let them walk out the door.
Yeah, that's true. Because they damn sure weren't going anywhere during the regular season.
So right now, I have no faith in what the Giants are doing. I don't see any moves that are wowing me. Like, wow, oh yeah, that's great. Like, you talking about signing Drew Lock? Like, come on, we talking about Drew Lock here.
Yeah, I said that kiddingly, but
yeah, come on, man, I'm good. The same Drew Lock that Denver got off of and Seattle got off of. I'm good.
All right, so I mean,
on to the next subject. Screw the Giants.
Well, what about the division though? So Saquon went to the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Swift is out. He went to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, it's a lot of trades.
Yeah, he went to the Bears.
Offensively,
Austin Eckler went to the Commanders.
Don't make me talk about that yet. But yeah, Eck went to the Commanders to pair up with Brian Robinson in the backfield. The Commanders have been making a lot of moves. And it's looking like, of course, they're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to go Caleb, most likely. So, the Commanders getting better. The Giants getting worse.
Not Caleb. Not
Caleb.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden. They coming in at 3, right? No, 2.
2.
They're coming in at 3. So, 2. So, with them having Eck, Brian Robinson, drafting a quarterback, making a lot of moves, having new coach, having all these new things in town, where do the Commanders kind of fall? Where do the Eagles kind of fall? And the Cowboys, who have been extremely quiet during the beginning of free agency, which historically they kind of continue to do. The Cowboys want to build through the draft and retain players, but the shit ain't working. The Falcons have had more Super Bowl appearances than the Cowboys in the past.
Well, the only noise that the Cowboys made was letting Tony Pollard walk. So they have to fill up their running back room.
But Tony Pollard wasn't doing a damn thing
last year. I get it, but he was still, he was a good part of the offense, offensively. Because it's like, who's the running back now? We don't know. So they have to replace that.
Yeah, but
that was their issue.
You should have been making a move ASAP. They could have been making a move on Zach Moss, who left town and went to the Bengals. They could have been making a move on.
Is Joe Mixon still out there?
Joe Mixon is gone.
He's not with the Bengals, but did he get signed? Is he still available? Is the question. I don't know.
I think he is.
But to answer your question,
I think he's still. No, I feel like Mixon went somewhere.
The pecking order is this: Dallas would finish first in the division. Philly would be right behind them. I think the Commanders would probably finish third, and the Giants would finish fourth.
So you still think the Cowboys are going to be higher than the Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
Even with the defensive improvements that the Eagles are making, even with the offensive improvements that they're making, you still think the Cowboys are going to be just a slight step above the Eagles, even though they haven't really done much in free agency yet.
I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think so.
I thought it boosted the Eagles to the top of the division. Having Saquon, he's just, to me, he's more dynamic.
It depends on the schedule too. I haven't looked at the schedule, so I don't know exactly like who the NFC East is playing as far as like opponents. So I don't know that yet. I haven't looked directly at it. I think they're playing NFC South and all of that stuff. So it could be like the same. It could be like a little neck and neck tie at the end between them and Philly. It's gonna be Philly and Dallas at the top.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I kind of wanted your take on that. I mean, I know the Commanders have made a lot of moves. They signed Will Dissly. They signed a couple linebackers, high draft pick. They got, like we mentioned, Eckler from the Chargers.
They need to work on the secondary. That's what they need to do. They need to be drafting corners and safeties. That's what Washington needs.
I think I heard a projection saying that they would try to go for maybe a defensive back or something with that other pick they have in that first round.
Yeah, they need corners and safeties.
But
there's a lot of safeties out there.
Yeah.
A lot of vets.
Okay. So that was my concerns or questions about that division and, of course, your team. However, on the home front here, the Atlanta Falcons, they've done a lot of interesting things, to say the least.
They've done it again.
They've done it again. I think the move they're making right now, let me start by saying, I get why you go get Kirk Cousins to an extent. Kirk Cousins is an efficient quarterback. He has a pretty high QBR over the past couple seasons. He won some games with the Vikings for sure. You surround him with some weapons on offense. He's a good game manager if we put it in Cam Newton terms. He can distribute the football pretty well. And he makes smart decisions, and the Falcons have been historically bad in the second half with collapses and turnovers and late game F-ups.
Late game execution for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think he cleans that up, and I think it does translate into more wins, especially when we've been up in games and just can't keep the lead. However, my concern is this. You had the opportunity during this offseason to get Bill Belichick as your coach, and you had the opportunity to go after a younger quarterback such as Justin Fields. Now, I don't know if the Falcons as an organization are just at a point where, like, they still have some type of past trauma with Michael Vick and they're scared of a scrambling black quarterback or something. I don't know. But
I think so.
Possibly. It feels like that's what it is because it was like, do we want to do Michael Vick 2.0? And it was like, no. Let's go with somebody safer. Kirk Cousins is a 35-year-old quarterback. By the end of this contract, he's going to be about 40. Versus Justin Fields, he would be significantly younger. So my concern is that this is either gonna go if they don't make some type of deep playoff run or get a Super Bowl appearance somehow in the next couple years, then it's gonna look like they effed up really bad during this offseason. Because
so
you had a chance.
That's the question I've been posing. Is that the expectation? What's the expectation?
I mean, at this point, we don't just want to be a playoff team. We've been there and done that. I mean, at this point, the only thing that's going to get the stink off of 28-3 is a Super Bowl. So, I mean.
But can we honestly say Kirk Cousins is a Super
I don't
Bowl
feel
quarterback?
like that. I don't feel like that. And that's why I'm not super excited, especially much how you feel about Brian Burns. You overpaid him. 180?
I think so.
180, 100 guaranteed off an Achilles, and he's 35.
Off an Achilles, 35 years old.
What?
1-3 in the playoffs, I think.
Come on.
I don't see how paying him $100 million guaranteed
he's not
is justified.
A bad quarterback. He's definitely an improvement from what we've had.
Not
over the
good
past
in primetime games. Not good in the playoffs. How does that justify?
Well, first of all, we didn't have
million?
The other quarterbacks we had weren't good in primetime games,
yeah,
and they also didn't even make the damn playoffs.
Right.
So
it's
at least
upgrade.
he made the playoffs.
It's an upgrade.
I can see the upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
Right.
Right. You upgrade from a quarterback that couldn't get to the playoffs.
We couldn't get him any cheaper than that.
You upgraded from a quarterback that couldn't get you to the playoffs to a quarterback that can possibly get you to the playoffs and win a playoff game.
But I'm saying we couldn't get him no cheaper than that, though.
Should have. I posed this too. I said, if Kirk Cousins is so good and he is worth that, why didn't the Minnesota Vikings match it?
Because they don't have a quarterback. For real. I mean, they got Joshua Dobbs, but I don't think they really want Dobbs to be a starter. I mean, I'm
saying, why didn't the Vikings match it? Because the word is, if they Kirk would have signed back with the Vikings if they would have came close or matched what he got from Atlanta. So why didn't the Vikings say, no, you're not going to Atlanta. We want you here.
Because it's way too much money.
So the point of the matter is they don't see Kirk Cousins' value at $100 million.
I don't
guaranteed.
think anybody sees Kirk Cousins' value. I don't think Kirk Cousins saw his value being that high until the Falcons pulled out all of our money.
Kirk Cousins is the ultimate NFL heist man. I tell you that right now. He getting his guaranteed money like that.
He is. He's a shrewd businessman. He looks like a businessman. So I'm quite sure they've negotiated very well. The only other thing I seen the Falcons do, they sent Jonnu Smith down to the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. They picked up Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, that was a good pickup
from the Bears. I like that one.
That was a good pickup.
I do like that. It gives you a pretty sure hand receiver on the other side of Drake London. You know, somebody that can give you some good possession receiving. You know what I'm saying, and make some catches.
They need a route runner, somebody that can really run routes. That's what they really need. They need a route technician like a Stephon Diggs, like a Justin Jefferson. That's what helped Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
you get a technician to run routes. Not saying that Drake London can't run routes. I don't see him as a route technician. He's like a Stephon Diggs, like a Justin Jefferson.
He's one of those guys that'll go. He's more of a jump ball receiver.
Jump ball guy.
He's like tall, that's
not going to help Kirk Cousins.
But he's not going to get much yards after catch. Like, you need somebody that's going to able to get open and make a play and continue after he catches the ball. Because Kirk can get the ball
made Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson enhanced Kirk Cousins. I'm just going to put it out there and be honest with you like that. Because these are the route running receivers that can create their own space, get open, where a quarterback can deliver the football. Now you got a Drake London, who's more of a bigger size receiver, like you said, jump ball receiver, down the field receiver. I don't think it's going to be the same. You need somebody. I guess that's where the Darnell Mooney came in, because he's not a route technician, but he's a more shiftier guy. You know, more. You know, he can create a little bit more space. He can make some plays. Yeah, he can make plays. So I don't know. That was a good pickup though. I just don't see Kirk Cousins taking Atlanta anywhere. Honestly, it's just my opinion. We'll see. We'll see in the next 3 years if Atlanta Falcons fans are calling for his head and looking for another quarterback, and we're going to see if that $100 million guaranteed is worth it.
Because in my opinion, I'll go on record now saying I'm not super hype.
We're not paying. You shouldn't be paying a quarterback $100 million to be complacent.
Right.
To be okay. Let's just get to the playoffs.
Right.
That's not what.
If you want 100 M's, you thinking Super Bowl.
Exactly.
100 M's is Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If you don't get a Super Bowl out of 100 M's, then it's a bust. So
100%.
I mean, I think that's a lot of pressure to put on Kirk. You know, hopefully he proves us wrong.
Oh, the Falcons fans gonna put that pressure on him.
But they're gonna put some pressure on him.
Pressure is on
because we got to see it.
The pressure is on. I guarantee you that it's gonna be on.
So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting on that end. And I mean, in the draft, it looks like we're gonna end up going defense again. Probably going. What's my boy from Alabama to the line?
You need a pass rusher.
He's an edge rusher.
Yeah, that's what you need.
My boy from Alabama. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know why it just slipped my mind. But he's probably going to be the first defensive player off the board. And most likely that's who the Falcons are going to go with as far as defense goes. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, to see how that develops and how that plays out. But, yeah, it should be very interesting. Other teams in the division, Saints really haven't made any groundbreaking moves. They got rid of Jameis Winston. He went to the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers re-signed Baker.
Yeah, that was a fair deal. Good deal. Good deal for Baker.
Yeah,
I think it was equal value.
He proved his value.
Went to the playoffs. All of that. Yeah, 100%.
He proved his value. Mm-hmm. So he earned that money.
Got a playoff win.
He did.
It works.
So we'll kind of see where they go. They
Mike Evans signed again, and he signed an extension. So he's highest. I think highest paid receiver. I think 21 per year right now. I think that's what it is.
Ooh,
something like that. Yeah,
boy got a bag. Panthers, blah.
Panthers blowing it up. They're going young. They're going young. They're going through the draft.
Yeah, they're
trying to build through the draft.
Now, some other teams that I'm highly interested in. Let's talk about some of those Super Bowl contending teams of the past season, right? Starting with let's go Buffalo Bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Davis.
He's in Jacksonville now.
Yeah.
They clear house. Had to cut and clear that cap space. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Tre'Davious White, another defensive player, just clear house. Cut them off.
So with that happening, what do you foresee the Bills doing as far as trying to right the ship or get somebody new in there to, like, what do they go after?
They're going young.
Free agency.
They're going young. They're going to probably hit the draft, fill up that back end. Might get one of these a younger, cheaper safety if there's one on the market, like a Quandre Diggs maybe.
Okay.
Corners, you can find corners throughout the draft, any round. It's just a matter of if they're going to be good or not. But I think with Buffalo, they're going to be all right still. Their defense was banged up last season, and they ended up getting to the title game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a divisional round. So it's like they're going to be all right. They're going to rebuild. They just ended up cutting a lot of the older players in the defense in the secondary, and they're getting younger.
Dallas Turner is who I was thinking about from Alabama, by the way, as an edge rusher for the Falcons. But go ahead.
Buffalo, they're going to be fine. I don't know what's going to happen with Stephon Diggs. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to bring in another wide receiver to replace Gabe Davis a little bit. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what moves they make because I know they did a lot of clearing around there, moving some guys on up out of town. Another one of those, of course, was the Flock. Flock made a big move.
They made a lot of moves.
They made a big move. Mm-hmm. They got Gus Edwards up out of town. He went to the Chargers to take over the spot where the Chargers sent Eck to the Commanders, and they brought in from the Titans. They brought in Derrick Henry,
King Henry.
So having that powerful running back along with their already pretty deep backfield, running back field anyway. Do you think that's going to push them over the edge to be able to make a better contention in a AFC Championship game or something like that?
What's going to push them over the edge if they run the damn football like they should have against the Chiefs? If they would have ran the football against, they only ran the ball 6 times. So if you got a Derrick Henry, I hope that's going to tell you run the ball. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't run the ball. Like, for some reason, they just decided not to run the ball. I feel like if they would have ran the football, they would have won the game.
I mean, do you feel like it was the Chiefs' defense, though, that was deterring them from that?
No, not even. No. Every play was a pass.
Okay.
The Chiefs' defense ain't forcing that, and when they ran the ball, they ran it somewhat decent. You just got to stick to it. But, I mean, the Ravens, they lost some pieces on the back end. Geno Stone, he's out. Patrick Queen, he's out. They did sign.
That Patrick Queen one was a big one.
Yeah, Patrick Queen's in Pittsburgh now.
That's big for the Steelers.
But Geno Stone, safety, he's out. I mean, good safety. Underrated as far as how many people know him and stuff like that. But he plays a good role with the Ravens. They did re-sign Matabike, so they got their interior pretty much locked up still. So there's some changes going on that defensive side. But other than that, adding Derrick Henry to the offense definitely, makes them a little bit more dynamic and more scary because now you have to play extra men in the box for Derrick Henry, and you still have to account for Lamar Jackson.
Right.
That opens things up in the passing game. So if they run it correctly, then, they could be very, very dominant. And they was already dominant without them.
They was the best rushing team without them, and then you just got, I would say a top-tier running back. So they're definitely designed to run, so that was a great spot. So it's going to be interesting to see what Derrick Henry can do to improve the Flock's chances of going up.
Yeah.
All right. So we see some improvements from the Ravens, right? Sticking with their division, we also have the Browns, Steelers, Bengals, right?
Yeah.
So, actually, Joe Mixon did go. He was traded to the Texans. So, Joe Mixon is out of Cincinnati. They also got rid of a tight end, and they got rid of Awuzie, and he went to the Titans. So, what do you foresee as far as the Bengals? Hopefully getting a healthy Joe Burrow back. But, they're going to be a little bit light.
They're gonna be a little light. They're gonna be a little light, and then it might get a little bit lighter. T. Higgins, he said he wants to be traded.
Yeah, I seen that. I was like, T. Higgins, he might be out the door too. So that's just gonna leave Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow over there to figure it out. And Tanner Hudson was pretty good last season in a couple games. He stepped up a little bit, but I mean, you obviously need another.
The draft will tell us what's going on in Cincinnati. If they draft a wide receiver,
but they not that high on the board though. That's my thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying receivers are loaded. You know what I mean in the draft this year. So if they draft a wide receiver, that's going to tell us what we need to know about what's going on with T. Higgins.
So you're trying to wait till the draft.
They tagged him, and he like, nah, I want out. I want a long-term deal. He want a longer deal. So
as he should, because he held it down.
And I'm pretty sure there's teams out there that's been knocking on that Cincinnati Bengals door for T. Higgins, and they
for sure.
That's why they tagged him.
I just think some of the projections I've seen have kind of had, the Bengals going offensive tackle.
Yeah, they need it.
To protect Joe Burrow some more. So, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to go.
That's the scary part about that.
Yeah.
The other team, the Browns.
Yeah. They just got
Jameis Winston.
No. No. They got my guy from Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, they traded for Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, they got Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying?
They're trying to make some improvements. Who's gonna be is Flacco gonna be the quarterback?
Hell no. Deshaun Watson gonna be quarterback, man. They not about to let Joe Flacco back in there and quarterback.
Hey, man, Flacco held it down, man. I don't care what nobody
He did.
say. Flack held it down. He showed some gas. He had plenty of gas in the tank.
Yeah, but we gotta see what's up with. I don't know. Nick Chubb's still gonna be there. I don't know what's that's gonna look like.
Nick Chubb coming back.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Browns look like.
Nick Chubb is coming back.
They added some more weaponry offensively. Jerry Jeudy, that's a good pickup.
Already a great defense.
Yeah, already great defense at home. Because they went down there to Houston and stunk up the joint on the road. So
yeah. Was that them stinking up the joint, or was that Houston playing really well?
That defense was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible.
I mean,
terrible.
I respect it. I respect it. And the Pittsburgh Steelers being the other team in that division.
Big signing by Pittsburgh in Russ they trust.
Yeah, big Russ.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my
most of
my
the money
take on
paid
it.
By the Broncos.
Yeah, they only paying them veteran minimum like $1.5 million a year for the first year for that year.
Most of his money is coming from
the Broncos paying it, so it's not. Hey, come on, Russ.
Yeah,
the cap, we good. Now we can go get Patrick Queen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can sign Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen and
TJ Watt.
And
Highsmith and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
That's sick.
Ooh, I forgot Pat P over there too.
That defense is sick.
So the defense is going to be looking all right. You know what I'm saying? But
real light.
But I will tell you this. Adding Russell Wilson to that Pittsburgh offense is going to be very beneficial to them. They're going to win more games.
It's an improvement. It's an improvement from what they got, and I think
he's better than Kenny Pickett, better than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
and having a great coach behind him too to help. That the Steelers are going to play smart.
Yeah, they're going to play better.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin can definitely utilize Russell Wilson a little bit better than he was utilized for, I would say, half of the season. I think the Broncos did better in the latter half of the season. But I mean, but are you gonna be able to beat the Ravens?
They'll win the game. They'll split.
They're gonna split.
They'll split that defense
because of the defense.
Yeah, that defense. Okay. They'll split.
Yeah, somebody might get stabbed that game.
They'll split.
But that makes sense. I don't know how deep they're gonna go, but it's definitely an improvement. So we'll see.
Yeah, if they were able to go to the playoffs with that crap they had on offense last year, then you add Russell Wilson to the pot. You know what I'm saying? Then they'll put up a better fight against Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? With a Russell Wilson at quarterback and a competent offensive coordinator. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it doesn't make any sense for...
They did get a new coordinator.
Yeah, mid-season. They cut bait early. It doesn't make sense for them to get outgained yardage pretty much every game,
right,
and still win those games. How your total yards is 450, our total yards is 175, and we win the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So for them to be able to win games like that is crazy. But now you throw Russell Wilson in the pot, a competent quarterback, you know what I'm saying, with some experience, you know what I mean? Good guy at the podium, all these different things. I think they'll be all right. That's an upgrade for them.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
So that Mike Tomlin retiring and Mike Tomlin leaving and all that crap, that can go out the window.
Yeah, no. That's not happening for sure.
Yeah.
Another I mean, is it fair to call them a Super Bowl contender?
Who?
I'm gonna say let's talk about the Houston Texans. Right?
Okay.
I don't think they were really a Super Bowl contender, but they were a shocker team of last season. D'Amico put together
playoff contender for sure.
Playoff contender for sure.
Yeah.
They came out of a very tough division. But it's a lot of changes going on in that division as well. So it's been talked about that they will probably go in the draft and go maybe another defensive player. But offense was really good last season.
That was the highlight of their team.
They got Joe Mixon from the Bengals.
Devin Singletary out. He's a New York Giant now. Joe Mixon in. That's a good play. I like that. Physical, tough, goal line guy.
But what do you think they need? What do you think they were missing based on that playoff run that they just had? What do you think they were missing to get them over the hump to maybe win the game that they lost?
I don't think they were missing anything, honestly. I just think they got outplayed. They weren't prepared for the Ravens.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was on the road. It was up there in Baltimore. His first road playoff game.
Right.
All these different things. I think that was more so experience. You know what I'm saying? Versus anything else.
Experience versus the youth.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, because the offensive line, he gets plenty of time to throw the ball from what I've seen. I love the play calls. They always scheming, plays up for him to have some deep shots down the field. You got a good wide receiver core. Now you got a good running back core. Devin Singletary wasn't bad last year. He was a good, viable option. He had a couple games over 100 rushing yards. So, I mean, I think offensively they're good. They got, a good tight end, good offense. Defensively, I think they're going to improve on that, probably grab some more pass rushers. They got good corners. Linebackers are solid too. So, I mean, I think they're a solid team. They're just going to improve in certain areas. Offensive line, as you see, they brought in some defensive players. They brought in Jonathan Grenard from the Vikings, and they brought in Blake Cashman from the Vikings. So,
okay,
they're working on that defense, like you said. But I think they're a solid team.
Okay. So, also in that division, we have the Colts. Now, Gardner Minshew
they let them go. I'm sorry, they didn't bring them in. They let them go.
Right.
To the Vikings. So they need to fill those holes.
So they need to fill those spots.
In the draft.
In the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which traditionally they did some things great over there because you got the defensive rookie of the year and you got the offensive rookie of the year out of the draft. So
they know
clearly
they
those guys know how to draft. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm not.
That defense is young too, man. None of them boys getting paid. They young.
Yeah.
They corners good. Derek Stingley, solid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Them boys good, man.
I think that gives them a lot of hope for the future. So Texans should still remain good.
Yeah.
Now
they can win the division.
The Colts were right there on the precipice of making the playoffs. They lost to the Texans, but they were fighting for a spot. Now they got rid of Gardner Minshew. He went to the Raiders.
See ya.
But they're getting Anthony Richardson back. So we're gonna see. Hopefully, he stays healthy this season. We're gonna see what he does with an entire season. Glad Gardner Minshew got appreciated and got him a contract somewhere.
Yeah, he got a nice little gig in Vegas.
Played well. Nice gig in Vegas.
Yeah, he got a nice gig in Vegas.
He got him a residency in Vegas.
Yeah,
he earned it. Then they got rid of Zach Moss and sent him. Zach Moss went to the Bengals. So where does that put the Colts? You still got Jonathan.
They extended Pittman.
Okay, yeah,
they did that. Pittman.
So where does that put the Colts? Like, where do they fall? Do you think they fight and make a playoff spot this time?
Nah.
No. Outside looking in again?
Nah, Houston is going to be that dog in that division. You know, on the other side of that, you still got Jacksonville trying to do some things. You know,
Jacksonville made some moves too.
They digressed a little bit this year, but last year, but they're gonna probably do a little bit better.
Picked up Gabe.
Yeah, picked up Gabe Davis. I think Calvin Ridley, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna be out.
It's talks like about him, talking, with the Patriots, but he don't want to go there. He don't want to be there. No, so he might work something out with the Jags. If he stays with the Jags, then you got a good receiving core again, and with a good running back. And then now the question now is going to be your quarterback,
right?
Because everybody's all on Trevor Lawrence. You a top draft pick,
but you
got all the weapons around you,
right?
What's up? We got to give him the same smoke we gave Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying?
He gets the same smoke as
he gonna have to start getting that same smoke. I don't care how talented you are, but if you're not winning these games that you need to win, and you showing that you Baker Mayfield, then it needs to be said.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he hasn't been playing the best. He's been in the league 3 years, 4 years now. It's time to show up and do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I put him in that same category as Justin Herbert in terms of the expectations out of him
100%.
in that draft class. So, I mean, there's high expectations.
With the talent around. Don't act like you can't act like you ain't got no talent.
Around. Now, he does have some talent.
So, there's no excuse.
They surround him with some weapons. They gave him a good run game.
Mm-hmm. Tight end, receiver. They extended Evan Ingram, gave him more money, kept him on the squad.
Defense is making some moves, so they try to, give him a manageable starting position by the defense, most of the time. I don't know, sometimes the defense falls asleep.
Oh, Darius Williams back to the Rams? Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's bad for Jacksonville, but that's not bad for the Rams. That's where he was at first. Made his name out there.
Okay. But speaking of them, I don't know how Jacksonville, I think they, make a push to be a playoff team again this year, but I don't know. I think it's all falling on Trevor Lawrence and what he can do in terms of performance, how far that team goes at this point. Because I don't know if it's a player that's really just going to come in there and turn something upside down if you don't have Trevor Lawrence to make it happen.
Yeah, that's my thing. So, right? He's been there a couple years. They went to the playoffs and got smoked. Well, they smoked the Chargers, but ended up getting smoked anyways.
The Chargers smoked themselves. They put themselves in a pack and rolled themselves up and smoked themselves, blowing a big lead in the playoffs. And no, I have not forgiven them for that. But we'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, we're on the way. They on the way. We're on the way. We're on the way to LA.
Definitely on the way to LA. I think the Titans, the only other team in that division, the Titans have pretty much shown me that they're trying to move
They are cleaning house.
So
they cleaning house.
I have floor expectations for the Titans coming this season.
Yeah, they are cleaning house.
Yeah, they done.
They're cleaning house. Derrick Henry out. Al Shire out. Good tight, good linebacker. Sean Murphy Button out. Yeah, them boys cleaning house, man. But I mean, on the flip side of that, the defense wasn't that great, so I see why they're making changes on the defensive side of the ball. Right. I think they're going to have to add another receiver and obviously another running back to help out Will Levis. But I mean, apparently they think Will Levis.
They're going with Will Levis, I guess.
Yeah, I mean they think Will Levis is the guy, so we're going to see.
Yeah, we definitely going to see about that. Now going to another one of those highly unexpected Super Bowl contenders that kind of showed up and gave us a very pleasant surprise. We have the Detroit Lions. Mm-hmm. Now the Detroit Lions, they haven't made they did make a couple moves. They made some trades. They signed Marcus Davenport at defensive end.
They got a DB, didn't they? What did they get? What defensive back they got?
They did get another defensive back, and I know they made a trade
Can't remember who it was. They just signed him, but man, I can't remember who it was.
But they've been making some moves to try and shore up the defense, which was clearly
the secondary for sure.
That secondary was terrible, but it was a liability. Let me not say just straight up terrible. They had some bright spots in moments in terms of games, but overall, the defensive secondary was definitely the weak point and the liability. Now, their method to kind of repairing and building that team up has been, okay, we're going to build up this offense, and then we're going to work on the defensive line. Mm-hmm. And then now it's looking like, okay, we're going secondary.
Yeah.
So they're trying to grab DBs left and right.
Yeah, that's probably what they're
probably going to end up drafting another DB.
Mm-hmm. As an NFL franchise, you have to draft a DB every year, every team. You have to.
That makes sense. They're going down. Yeah. I mean, somebody's going to get injured. You're going to need somebody
you got
to
to
step
draft
in.
a DB every year.
You got to have somebody, and especially a team that's already hurting at DB with
you need to draft
starters.
A DB every year, an offensive tackle every year, and a defensive lineman every year. Those are the three positions
that you always going to be.
Yeah, all the time. You might be able to get away with not drafting receiver, but you might not. You might want to draft your receiver too.
Okay.
Because the receiver classes be so damn deep, you just don't know who gonna pop.
Right. So that's what your expectation is for the Lions to take a next step up, is to improve in the secondary.
Yeah.
Offense is pretty good. I think we're solid with where they at offensively. Coaching, Dan made a couple questionable calls, but that's his style. And
that's why they didn't go to the Super Bowl's coach. That's why.
You don't think they got outplayed?
Nah.
Late in that game? Not really?
Nah, they got outcoached.
It was outcoached.
They got outcoached, 100%. 100%.
I'm not mad at it. I get it.
I'll never forgive Dan for that bullshit.
Well, also in that division, the Bears have been making a ton of moves.
The Bears?
They've been making a ton of moves over there.
Buy your stock now.
Yeah.
Buy your Bears stock.
The boys making some moves. They ain't scared to shake it up.
Yeah, buy your Bears stock. They making some plays.
Yeah, they've been making hella plays. So
wasn't that? Was it GM Poles, Ryan Poles or whatever?
Yeah, they picked up Bayard.
His old ass.
They picked up.
I think they franchise tagged Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
Which is one of the top DBs in the league.
And we talked about they got Swift.
Yep, got DeAndre. They let go of Darnell Mooney to the Falcons. We talked about that, so they're going to have to get another receiver.
They're going to have to do that to go on the other side. But in the draft, they do have a high draft pick. So
they got a couple.
They got a couple picks. So they're going to be able to draft a really good player or two out of that first round. So their stock is definitely on the rise. Now, I don't know if that's going to put them in contention for like a wild card spot. I don't know if their stock went up that high. But they definitely not going to be looked over. I don't know what they're going to get in terms of, Justin Fields.
They're not going to get anything.
They're not going to get anything. He's just walking.
At this point, it's getting to that point. I mean, all the spots, all the teams trying to fill up the depth chart at the quarterback position.
Right.
So somebody will grab him and he'll be a backup or somebody will grab him.
You think Justin Fields is going to be
so somebody might grab him, he'll be a backup, or somebody will grab him and they'll be like, yeah, it's a quarterback competition. And we'll see who's going to win out when the season starts.
That's crazy. I don't know how he got to backup status. That's crazy.
Well, he hasn't been winning.
he didn't have that much to work with.
He was 10-28 is his record.
He didn't have that much to work with, to be fair.
Yeah, I get it. But they don't.
You also got in that division the Green Bay Packers.
Go Pack Go been shaking it up.
They shaking it up too. They made some moves. I didn't understand them letting go of Aaron Jones.
Yeah, they brought in Josh Jacobs, and then they let go Aaron Jones. Didn't understand it. Maybe it was a money thing. Josh Jacobs only getting like $8 a year.
Okay.
Jones, I don't know how much he got for the Vikings, but
maybe they got some concerns about his injury history.
Maybe, but I mean, hell, when the way he played in the playoffs,
he looked like that.
What injury?
Right. He looked like the man.
What injury?
In Dallas.
I mean, he was out for the majority of the season, but when he came back,
back.
Everybody else got 16 games on their belt. He got 4. So he healthy. You know what I'm saying? He went in there and dominated Dallas, no problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand it.
He came back looking like the man. I ain't going to hold you.
Yeah, I don't understand the move. But, I mean, if you're getting Josh Jacobs, Josh Jacobs is not a scrub. So, I mean,
he's not.
You can't be too upset about it.
They get rid of Runyon, though, and they get rid of Darnell Savage to the Jags. Mm-hmm. Also, another improvement for the Jags.
DB, yeah. Savage is solid. Savage been with them for a while.
He has.
He's a good corner.
He has. But, you know, they were right there on the cusp of a appearance. Mm-hmm. But they went down to the 49ers and a comeback. So what do you think they need as far as improving in order to be able to take a step up, maybe get them another Super Bowl?
Well, I think their offense is all right. I think the defense is where they lack. I think the defense has been the issue for numerous years.
Okay.
You know, they got good names on that defense, but a lot of times they just don't perform to the expectation. So whatever they need to do, whether it's the defensive coordinator, but I think the defensive coordinator was pretty good, but whether it's defensive coordinator, maybe it's the certain scheme, whatever it is, they need to improve on that defensive side of the football because offensively, especially now that we've seen it, they can run it, they can throw it. You know what I mean? It's a good. They got a good thing going offensively, especially with all that young talent.
Okay. The other person I was thinking about also was Marcus Davenport. He got signed to the Lions. That was another person in the division. He was previously with the Vikings. Now, the Vikings
blowing it up.
They blew it up.
Nah, they ain't blow it up too much.
Kinda. Like I said, they got rid of Davenport. They still got Daniil Hunter. They got rid of Kirk Cousins. But so does that mean they're going? Where does that mean they're going with quarterback?
They got Sam Darnold.
Is Sam Darnold gonna start? He's gonna be your guy?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's the guy?
Sam Darnold's the guy.
Why?
People like Sam Darnold. I don't know why, but they like him. Shit.
Is he one of those guys that do well in practice, or
he's probably just a good employee? He's good. He's a good employee, bro. That's all it is. He's a good employee. You know what I mean? Like, he's not your worst employee. He's not your best employee.
But he's gonna show up to work.
He's gonna show up to work. He's gonna do everything he's asked to do, no problem, no question, and be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? He's a first round pick. And for him to take that humility and sit in a quarterback room and be the second on the second, second line on that depth chart, that takes a lot of humility. It does. He has it, and he was able to do it. So, I mean, the Vikings, they got to work on that defense. That's first and the quarterback first and foremost, but that defense
quarterback thing settled. But if you say they're going with Darnold, I guess that's what they want.
I think he's just a bridge guy. He's just a bridge guy. They probably looking at it like, all right, well, we save some money that we can use later. We can use that money on the defense, and we can work on, just the basic offense and trying to see if Sam Darnold can win us some games.
Either that or Justin Fields keeps sitting around long enough. I mean,
they might make a play on that. Who knows?
The 49ers haven't made a whole lot of moves. They were just in the Super Bowl, but they haven't made a whole lot of moves as of yet. So it's not really much to say about them, even though they're probably the biggest contender for a Super Bowl since they were in it. Mm-hmm. And the champs, the Super Bowl champs, getting into that division, the Super Bowl champs, they re-signed Chris Jones, which
needed to do that.
They look very good.
Tag Snead.
Tag Snead. So you got Chris Jones, you got Snead, you're two. And then who was my other guy on the other side?
Trent McDuffie. Yeah, he's still young. They're gonna have to do something with him probably next year or the year after. So tag him his ass too.
So you got three guys on defense that are very solid, but the question is
they let go MVS. They cut Marquez Scantling. Yeah, they cut him.
So obviously you're gonna need a wide receiver. We've been talking about this for a minute with them.
They won the Super Bowl without it.
They won a Super Bowl without it somehow.
Somehow, some way. But
they put that.
They still need to fill that depth chart.
But they need to fill that depth chart.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like some people are expecting them to go through the draft to get a good wide receiver.
Probably.
A lot of people talking about the boy Xavier who ran the 40.
Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy. They're talking about him maybe as a speedster to help out. However, I also saw something very interesting. I want to get your take on it. Someone said that they think it might be an actual good fit for Ladd McConkey.
Oh yeah,
from
UGA.
I like that.
I like that route runner. Get open, middle of the field,
run some routes.
Yeah,
he's not gonna blow you away with speed.
He gonna cook you. He's a Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, he's gonna slow.
I like that.
Pot.
Yeah,
I think that's a good draft pick for a good old UGA player.
I like that.
Ladd going to the Chiefs might definitely put them right back in contention to run it back.
Ladd McConkey.
So
Irish.
But I think that's really all they really need. I mean, you could make a running back statement, but I mean, Isaiah runs so violent. Maybe you can get another back to kind of stack up with him to put back there. But I think that's really all they need to get back, you know, for another Super Bowl. Now, playing in that same division, of course, we have my good old Los Angeles Chargers. And as we said, we was going to make it over there to them. Now, they
buy your Chargers stock now.
New coach.
Buy it.
New coordinator.
Buy it.
Herbert back. Austin Eckler's gone, but we just got Gus Edwards. What else we did?
What you're gonna have to do is figure out what's going on with some of these top high paid defensive players you currently have on the roster.
Yeah,
Derwin James and Joe Boat.
Well, I think the defensive coordinator he's trying to
Khalil Mack. You gotta figure that out.
Yeah, you do. But I think he's trying to utilize Derwin James a little bit differently and utilize his talents a little bit more. Because we knew going into this offseason that somebody was going to have to go because of all this money over there.
Yeah.
But Eckler being out now.
That didn't do much.
He
wasn't getting paid anyway.
He wasn't getting no crazy.
He wasn't getting paid anyway.
He wasn't paid. But they're gonna have to do something
with them big dogs.
With the big dogs for sure.
Restructure Keenan Allen deal. Something gonna have to be done. Mike Williams. Something gonna have to be done.
Well, I don't think Mike Williams is gonna end up being there. To be honest,
injuries.
Yeah, the injuries are killing it.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna hold on to Mike Williams because it's like 2 or 3 seasons we've had him, and then he ends up getting hurt, and he's nowhere to be found when it's time. So I don't see him staying. Plus, we drafted a wide receiver. I don't know if we're gonna go wide receiver again.
You never know. I mean, this is Harbaugh's team now.
It's Harbaugh. I don't know which way you want to go. I don't know if he's gonna go offensive lines. He's trying to protect Herbert. Again, I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. I mean, it's definitely some draft, but I think that defensive side needs to improve drastically because they gave up way too many yards in that secondary. So maybe they're going defensive back. I don't know.
DeVante Parker just signed with the Eagles.
From the Patriots?
1 year, $4 million guaranteed.
Nice.
Philadelphia only has to pay $1 million. Patriots playing the rest.
Oh yeah, them boys got over there. DeVante Parker was pretty good. Getting back into that division though, digging a little bit deeper, we don't know what the Chargers are gonna do, but we can clearly see that the Raiders been doing their thing over there. Like we said, he got his.
They have
Minshew got his residency over there. You got your guy at coach. They signed Pierce.
They signed Christian Wilkins too from Miami.
That was a good one. That was a very good one.
Christian Wilkins, Max
on the
Crosby.
other side of Max Crosby.
Well, Christian Wilson's gonna be an inside guy, but still, that's a good play. They still need to work on that secondary though.
Yeah, they do.
That's always been a problem for the Raiders.
The secondary, they do kind of give up a good amount of yards. I mean, they got a couple guys who can make some plays, but I don't know. It just felt like they didn't put it together all the way. I don't know what that was about, but they making some plays over there, so that division is going to be tougher. The Broncos is pretty much much like the Titans. The expectations are the floor at this point. Got rid of Judy, got rid of
Justin
Wilson,
Simmons,
got rid of Simmons. Yeah, they clearing house over there.
They clearing house. They need a quarterback too.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how that goes. But all that to say, it's still being moves made. It's still other trades made. It's some teams we ain't even really touch on because I don't know if it was really noteworthy to really get to them. However,
well, hold on. The Miami Dolphins, they are clearing house. On the defensive side of the football, Van Ginkel is out of there.
Why?
I don't understand it. That's what I'm saying. They cleaning house. They doing some crazy shit in Miami.
They get rid of Van Gink, man.
Yeah. VG out of there.
I mean, do you think they did that so that they can try to slow down some of these other teams? Because there was some teams that came through and kind of beat up on them.
Oh, they got dominated.
They got beat up on defense for sure.
Yeah, pretty bad.
So, I mean, what do they need?
Everything.
You said they need everything.
Nah, they might be good in the cornerback position, but outside of that, they need some pass rushers because they pass rushers has been the problem.
There was a couple guys got hurt too, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need help.
You know, that was that. What was my guy had the ACL injury?
Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, and then it was another. It was the other one too, though. It was another back. It wasn't Phillips.
Phillips was the first edge rusher. The other one was Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
So
both of them.
So they're gonna need somebody to shore that up, or to help them out when they get back. I don't know how you fix that over there. I mean, you know, I had a couple older guys. Don't know why you let Van Ginkel go to Vikings. You let Christian Wilkins go. I don't know why you did that.
Money, because he got a big payday. He got paid $100 million. 3 years.
So it's all money.
Hey,
all money. So I guess
he got a residency. He got himself a residency.
Nice residency.
Got a nice residency in Vegas. He's a good fit for Vegas.
Yeah,
he's dirty guy. Grit. They like him. He's a good fit for Vegas.
Yeah,
good fit.
Yeah. That Vegas team is going to be a little scary, so you got to watch them. That division is going to be a lot tougher.
Well, they quarterbacks. Until they get them a quarterback, I don't think nobody scared of them.
I mean, they just got Minshew.
Minshew.
We're not about to act like Minshew didn't do something last season.
He's a baller, okay? But he did that in what division again?
He did it.
Okay. Yeah. Now you putting him in a division with Pat Mahomes?
Yeah.
Now, Harbaugh?
He got some dogs on defense, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But with all that being said, man, we had to tap in to talk some free agency because there's a lot going on, as you can see. A lot of movement. And there's even more to come when we get into this NFL draft. So, I mean, you know, keep that in mind going into your fantasy projections. I think the odds went up on a couple teams after a couple big free agency signings, such as the Falcons going up to a whopping plus 2,000, 2,500. Whoop-de-doo. The Eagles odds went up. The Eagles odds went up for Super Bowl.
Don't buy that stock either.
But you know, it's free agency has been a frenzy, and the NFL draft only proves to make it even more of a frenzy. So keep that in mind if you want to start placing futures. Keep that in mind going into next season with these fantasy rosters, because you know some of your favorite players going to be in the different cities and different coaches, different schemes. So I mean, they production might
word
be a
to the
different.
wise: don't buy a player's jersey unless he is a franchise quarterback. Words from wise.
Are you regretting your Saquon jerseys right now?
Yeah, I mean, he not on the team. No, I can't wear that to no games. It's in the closet now, just like my Odell Beckham one. In the closet. In the closet. The only one I can wear is Eli Manning. That's the only one.
A little throwback.
Yeah, I can throw out the throwback. Now I got to get throwbacks now. I got to get the throwback greats. The ones in the Hall of Fame now, Michael Strahans and such.
Yeah.
LTs and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so word from the wise, you know, if you don't want to keep buying jerseys and not wearing them, make sure you just get jerseys from franchise players, quarterbacks, and maybe offensive linemen because they'll stay with the team for about 10 years too if they're good enough.
I mean, maybe we can get an endorsement deal from a credit card company that offers like jersey insurance or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You know, that would be nice.
I'll sign up today.
I know it's one of them out there. I ain't going to say the name because they're not paying us. But with that being said, man, you've been tuned into another very special episode of the No Hedge Podcast. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys.
Hit that subscribe button.
Keep on talking that trash. Y'all love to talk in the comments because we love to read it.
Oh, yeah.
But
and one thing to note, the Dallas Cowboys made 0 moves. I think we said that already. Yeah, I just want to say it again.
They've been quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
You all have done less than the Falcons in the past 30 years. You keep going through this strategy. We want to build players out of the draft and build them up and maintain them, and that shit's not working. You're going to have to switch it up. It hasn't worked in a very, 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 very long time. And at some point, you guys need to do something in terms of free agency and picking up some guys because you can't just keep on relying on the draft.
They do pick up guys. They just be the wrong guys. They just got to push the needle and get the right guys. That's all.
Yeah, you got to do something. I mean, you said they were still going to win the division.
I think so.
So, I mean, you got more faith in the Cowboys than I do.
I just think they got the best quarterback in the division. That's all.
Dak Prescott, the best quarterback in the division. That's crazy.
I mean, the numbers showed it. I'm being objective, bro.
I don't disagree with you. There's a lot of people who would disagree with you.
I mean, he was almost MVP.
He was in the conversation.
Yeah, he was in the conversation. I mean, you got to be pretty good to be in the conversation.
You do.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, No Hedging Podcast. Peace.